Welcome once more. It's the Eglinton West Pop-Up Podcast, Old Heads Talking Basketball. I'm Dub Splitter at Large, Clifton Joseph, and the dude to my left is Michael Solomon, basketball legend in Canada. Michael, welcome. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, man. I'm feeling real good after this win.
Michael, the Raptors went to Philadelphia for game 5, down 3-0. They won the last one in Toronto. They were down 3-1, and now they're up, down 3-2. They won this game tonight, 103-88, and it was a classic, Michael. It was exuberant. I'm full of effervescence. The way the Raptors did this clockwise in terms of just their defense, their offense, their poise in Philadelphia with probably one of the most rabid fan base in the NBA. What happened tonight, brother? Tell me, in this win.
The Raptors were in transition. It looked like we were in transition all night and just taking it to them. They didn't get a chance, even when they set up there, they had to play zone because the transition was so ferocious.
I thought it was like the Twilight Zone, that club in Toronto back in the day. I thought it was the Twilight
They
Zone
might
of
have
a
felt
TV
that
show.
way. They might have felt that way, but that's what I spoke about. The Raptors have to be desperate, play desperate. They did that. The defense was on point. That defense was in your face.
Absolutely.
Right? And they do those things they could do. And like I say, you have to attack Embiid. Okay? I mean, that he was afraid to go inside.
Yes.
Because every time he got right inside, he got stripped, or he's afraid that finger's gonna get hit. And he stayed on the outskirts behind the 3-point line.
Absolutely.
That's like waving the white flag.
And that dude was
He might as well be waving the white flag.
And that brother,
he needs to go down and be dominant on the block.
And
I can't believe Doc didn't take that approach.
And that brother sweats more than Patrick Ewing back in the day. And he loved to fall down.
But falling down is an art, like I say, you know. It's easier than standing up sometimes.
But look here. Here's how bad the defense was for the Raptors tonight. We kept Embiid to 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists. We kept Harden to 15 points, 2 rebounds, and 7 assists. Maxey we kept to 12 points. Harris we got to 16, 7, and 4. And Bball, who was supposed to be the guy because of the protocol, he's not vaccinated, so he can play in Toronto.
So he
only had 2 points and two rebounds.
Yeah, because they totally out of sync with him, right? When you can only play now and then, it's like Brooklyn and Kyrie.
Yeah, we'll talk about that
later. When you only play now and then, they get out of sync.
We'll talk about that later. But what I'm saying is that what that shows me is that the Raptors defense was on mega tonight. Talk to me about the Raptors defense tonight, baby.
Listen, the Raptors, they played straight up. More than the Raptors defense is that we made them go into a zone to prevent our offense from just running them off the court.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And when they did have the ball, we put such pressure on them, and Embiid sort of played, it's like a game of chess, and Embiid played right into checkmate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? By staying on the border, he was ineffective. And he didn't have his mojo going, so his jumper was off. So he might as well have been 6'2" tonight.
Absolutely. He played real small and really in a shell. It was as if he was intimidated by the moment. We embarrassed Philadelphia. The Raptors did. Philadelphia on their home court with their fans. Did you hear a couple of times where the Philadelphia fans were booing their team?
Well, yeah, you hear, not too well with my system, but I was aware of the different waves of departures in the audience. Oh, there goes the second wave. Let's fix the third wave as it got down to the bottom.
Talk to me
It
then,
was
Michael,
nice.
about missing Fred VanVleet, but it's as if we didn't miss Fred VanVleet, because what we saw tonight, I believe, is really the very best exposition, I think, of that whole concept of the 6'7", 6'9" guys with their 7'7" 4" wingspan in effect. Talk
You're
to me
very
about
right.
that part of it.
You're very right. You got to see it tonight, right? But because Van Vliet's out, and he was playing injured. Come on, the last 2 games he did play, he shouldn't have been playing those either.
You
Right.
elucidated that earlier on, Michael. I wasn't sure about it because my position is that if you're on the court, you're not injured. But you're right, he
Oh,
was
listen,
injured.
every single player on that court is injured in some way, shape, or form. At
That's the
this point in the
playoffs,
season,
baby.
I can guarantee that.
That's the playoffs, baby. But keep on talking though about the elucidation we've seen of the actual 6'7", 6'9", 7'7" 4" wingspan in effect, really, that the Toronto Raptors have championed and have revolutionized.
That's what made our defense so potent. It didn't matter who was switching off on you when they run those high post screens, pick and rolls. It didn't matter who switched off. You had a long giant on you. You had arms on you, and they couldn't get going. Look how in check Harden was. We had Harden in check.
Absolutely.
We had him doing what I was complaining about Siakam a few days ago, dancing with the ball and eating up the clock, right? And once you see that start happening, their offense is falling apart, and we forced them to fall apart. That
because
was
Harden only had 15 points, 2 rebounds, and 7 assists, which might be cool for some nondescript player, but for him, that's definitely him in the doldrums. Same thing with Embiid, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists.
I think Embiid put himself in that position.
How
Embiid
so?
underperformed tonight by staying out on the perimeter. And Doc should be sweating right now.
Of course.
Because it seems like, right, when we talk about anything's possible last game, right? We got to believe.
Yes.
We had tonight happen. So now you really got to believe.
Really, because
we got momentum.
Speaking of Doc,
we could make history. Let's think of history.
Speaking of Doc Rivers and Daryl Morey, the GM of the 76ers, is that those teams, 2 guys combined, Doc is the only coach in the NBA who've lost 3 playoffs where he was up 3-1.
Yep.
And
it looks like we could make it. We could make it number 4.
Yeah. Well, we'd be even more on the record.
It looks like we have a really good chance now.
Absolutely.
How in these playoffs, the championship team is determined by who got sick first, or who got injured, right? And right now, with the size and the strength we have on the floor today, those small man lineup, we can beat anybody.
And with the momentum that the Raptors have, and with how we embarrassed the Sixers on their home court with their rabid fans, it means that we go into the 6th game in Toronto with our fans. Mm-hmm. Michael, what do you expect for that 6th game coming up in Toronto?
Wow. It's going to be loud. It's going to be exciting.
I'm telling you.
Expect the Raptors win, for damn sure.
I believe there'll be
on the wave, and I think we got them. We got them in the corner, and they're wounded. They have to tend to their sick, and we're attacking. And I think we have them thinking they're really second guessing. You see them second guessing themselves a lot today. Mm-hmm. In the way they execute their offense when they start running out of time because of that defense slowing them down from getting into their sets,
And to talk about Raptors coach, Night Nurse Nick, who I think that dude has been fucking up. He's gotten really conservative over the years. He actually acts somewhat like assistant coach Casey back in the day. But tonight, he really was clear. He said to his guys, I remember in one of the timeouts, he said, let's go at them. Go to the paint, go to the basket, keep on pressing them. And that's what the Raptors did. We were on their ass, Michael, weren't we?
Yes, we were. And it makes you think, what the hell happened the first 3 games? Where was that attitude?
Exactly. Where was Night Nurse Nick in those first 3 games? You're right.
Right now, the player. Fortunate we have that big long line. If Van Vliet's injury, see every
disappointment is a blessing.
Has a positive side to it, right?
Yeah.
And we have those. What did the announcer call it? Our defensive lineup, the top defensive line that we put on the floor, with all the guys, Boucher, Precious. OG, Pascal, and we had Gary Trent. That's a deadly team on the floor. That's a team that's going to run, gun, D you up, W.
Let's talk about our superstar. Let's talk about our All-NBA superstar, Pascal Siakam from Cameroon. Tonight, he did 23 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. 3 short of a triple-double at this game. Talk about Siakam and the way he played and how you've seen his game elevate and change and adapt in the last couple of games, because he don't spin as much as he used to.
Like I said, he's attacking, and when he attacks, everybody gets off balance. You have to collapse, and he's finding the open man, and other guys are hitting the shot. When you get a nice pass, the likelihood that you're going to hit that shot goes up just because it's a nice pass, And we were getting lots of that all night.
What kind of props do you give to Siakam then for taking all of the heat from the Raptors fans? Every time he makes a mistake in a game, they just seem to pile on to him. But then he comes back the next game, at least in this series, and he does something magnificent. What about the effervescence and the magnificence of the play of Siakam and how he learns on the fly?
But he don't care about the fans. He's going to try and do what he can do to make himself more effective. And he's proved that he's very creative, that he can learn from his mistakes and not do them again. Because since we complained about his too much twisting and turning, he's been pulling up on jumpers and getting deep into the key and pitching out. Defensive nightmare. So our shooters can just bask,
And talk to me, if you will, about I think that probably the steadiest dude in the Raptors in this series here has been OG Anunoby, who had 16, 5, and 4 tonight. What about OG in terms of what he brings to the table defensively, offensively, 3-point wise, and going to the basket? What do you think has been his contribution to the Raptors win these couple of games?
He's like the Rock.
Mm-hmm.
He is a Rock, right? He's gonna be OG every night, in and out, right? OG is the Rock. That's it.
And he's got some bad boy Detroit in him too, I find.
Yeah. He's no slouch. He spoke about how strong he became last year, right?
Yeah.
Imagine this year. So
hey, I love it. He's got some nasty in him, which I love.
Who is this you're saying?
OG has got some nasty in him, like the Detroit Bad Boys.
Yeah, we see him. He's had a lot of dust ups already. Flipping people up by their foot. Remember that?
Yes.
Season?
Of course, Trent Jr. also has been pretty steady tonight. 16, 1, and 3. What about Trent Jr.?
Trent is Trent, man. Trent, we know he's gonna score,
Indeed.
right? And you
Indeed.
know he's gonna have the defense guessing because he's one of the biggest crooks in the NBA.
Yes.
Right?
Meaning the cooks steal, or the cooks, what was the thing about the cooks?
Those kind of crooks. You gotta watch out. You can't leave your purse open. Right? He's going with that ball, man. I love the pressure he puts on the defense. All that makes a difference, especially when a team is down.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to start looking around, and you got hands all over the place. You can't see the passing lanes good. Because you got active hands, and it looks like a swarm out there.
Scotty Barnes, newly minted Rookie of the Year, who was taken number 4. A lot of Raptors fans didn't think we should have taken number 4, but he is our ROI Rookie of the Year. He had 12, 8, and 4. What about that young brother? You thought they should have just packaged him off to the bench and locked him down. Are you regretting that errant decision?
No, I don't regret that at all. I'm glad that he's healthy to help out this way. I'm glad that they worked on that ankle, that he can play this effectively. Because let me tell you something. That's he compared to Magic Johnson.
Magic compared himself to him.
That's a very accurate description of him because he is dynamic. You know, he's got all the assets you need as a basketball player. I don't see any deficits in that guy's game. At 6'10", what is he? Is 6'10", isn't he? Something like that?
Well, 6'9", 10, yeah.
6'9", he is like the second coming of Magic. You can say that. You can really say that. But he's his own man. You know what I mean? There's always a second coming. But he's the closest thing to him that we've ever seen.
Precious, 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 Michael. Precious,
I love my precious.
Precious Achiuwa. 17 and 7 tonight. That dude is becoming a star, going up in front of us in these playoffs, brother.
Yeah, Precious is entertainment, man.
He is Jordan.
He has a highlight reel every night.
Exactly.
Just with his hustle and his
He reminds me of Michael Jordan at times, the way he goes through the paint, weaves through people, and do his slams or whatever he does to get the basket.
It certainly does look like that when you see him in motion. You know, just think when he grows to even have more control on that, because he's got some handles, as we've seen now, inside out.
Indeed, he's got the handles.
Like I said, the Raptors' potential is scary for a lot of teams. Mm-hmm. Because we have so much talent on this team that you could see it bubbling up, you know? It's like there's gold in them there hills, you know? Or there's this black gold Texas team. That's the talent in Toronto.
What did you see, Michael, in terms of the poise or lack of poise in Philadelphia, the players and the coaching staff tonight? Because it seemed to me that they both were mired in a quagmire of desperation.
I think maybe Doc is getting a bit slow, like he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I can't say Doc got a coach or your coach himself. It looks terrible because to keep Embiid on that perimeter for this game is like waving a white flag. Right? That's what it's like, because you can't beat anybody playing like that. No good team. You can't beat with your biggest man, your most dominant player, becoming one of the least threatening players by staying on the perimeter.
Because Michael, they look lost like that old hit TV show to me. And it seemed to me is that when that happens, what's the importance of coaching? I will go back to, of course, we always reference Popovich from the Spurs, right? Mm-hmm. What do you have to do as a coach in those situations? You call more timeouts, you call more plays. What do? You bench guys? Like, what could have Doc done to make a difference tonight?
Finds a way to threaten, send his big man in the post, man, because that's the only way he could win. But I'm thinking even Doc was afraid of losing Embiid by putting him in the post. That finger is a big problem. That thumb is a huge problem.
And he also had 5 fouls too, didn't he, tonight? Embiid.
Well, yeah, he's desperate. He's not himself. He can't be himself because he can't grab that ball inside and go up strong because everybody's swiping at the ball. Look how many times he lost it in there. It's for that reason. That thumb is damaged, no matter how they tape it.
One thing that I thought Philadelphia was very effective with in the games they won and even in the games they lost, except tonight, and you can tell me why there is this differential, that is that they generally pack the paint where Embiid is in there, Harris or whoever, they got 2-3 people in there. But tonight, it was the best job I've seen the Raptors done in this series of actually attacking the basket, attacking the paint, or finding a way of solving Philadelphia packing the paint. From your perspective, what did the Raptors do tonight that was different than other games because they've been packing the paint? What was the solution tonight to packing the paint that we won?
Well, the difference is that before, when they packed the paint, the first 3 games, right, we were playing right into their hands with Pascal, those games, getting in there, trying to get in there and spinning, nothing's happening because they got it packed, they know everything he's going to do. And by the time he figures this out, there's 10, 15 seconds gone on the shot clock. Every other shot is a rush shot. You know, we couldn't get into our offense. But now we have them totally on their heels. They can't adjust to us. We're coming at them from all angles. The ball is moving. You know, and we're too quick. We're getting out in transition because the defense, excuse me, is forcing mistakes, and we are taking every advantage of those mistakes with our speed and the outlet pass and the transition and running it into their throat, man. They don't have the legs to keep up with us.
What do you think? What do you think, Michael? What do you think?
Our advantage? You're seeing it tonight.
All right. What do we got to do? What do you expect from game number 6 in Toronto?
More of the same, man. This is how we have to play them.
Mm-hmm.
They have to solve our puzzle. We are the puzzle they have to serve now. They have to solve now. If I put my money on, if I had money, I'd put it on Toronto.
Let's do it. Let's do it, baby. I want to thank you. This is Dove Sport Lodge, Clifton Joseph, with my man Michael Solomon, a basketball legend here. This has been the Eglinton West Pop-Up Podcast, Old Heads Talking Basketball edition, where the Raptors won 103-88 by 15 on the home court of the Philadelphia 76ers. The next game is in Toronto, game number 6. We'll see you there after that. Thank you, Michael. Right on.
All right, bro. Have a good night.
Absolutely.